Okay, fantastic. So welcome everybody to today's Commodities Corner presented by myself, Phil Carr, at the Gold and Silver Club. During today's session, we will go through live market analysis. We'll go through a watch list of trade ideas, a forecast of where we're looking at gold, silver, crude oil, and also the commodity currencies to be heading next. We'll be answering questions and, of course, providing live support as well. So before we get into it, let me just introduce you to the Gold and Silver Club. The Gold and Silver Club is regarded as the go-to authority on commodities trading, as internationally respected experts. Our analysis and our opinions on the metals, the energies, and the agriculture markets, they are routinely sought by major financial television channels and publications, which include Bloomberg, Reuters, CNBC, the Financial Times, the Wall Street Journal. And over the last 10 years, myself and my team of experts, we have trained and mentored thousands of private traders from all over the world on our exclusive research-driven strategies. For further information on our services, you can just go to www.jointhelivetradingroom.com. Do also make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. So we've got hundreds of videos on YouTube, but by subscribing, you'll be kept updated with all of the latest commodity reports and all of the forecasts. We've just put out a fresh forecast for the week ahead as well on YouTube. So if you've not subscribed already, search for the Gold and Silver Club on YouTube and make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. Okay, good. So with that, let's get right into it today. I'll go through my favorite trade ideas, what I'm looking at in terms of positioning for this week, and really what we're anticipating and forecasting for this week on the commodities and also the commodity currencies as well. So with that, I'll share my screen. You should be able to see that very shortly as I bring out the charts. Okay, fantastic. And we'll also just bring it out to the latest narratives in the markets as well. Okay, good. So first of all, let's just bring this over and you can have a look at just what's going on within the foreign exchange market right now. Now, of course, today in the USA, it's closed for the President's Day. So it's a bank holiday in the USA. So you've got the stock markets. USA stock markets are effectively closed at the moment. We have seen a bounce here on gold today. So gold has broken out to 10-month highs. It's breached above 1,327 US dollars per ounce. As we mentioned last week, we maintain our positions on gold, on silver and platinum, and we're still expecting that potential between now and the end of the month for that seasonal flow to come in. In fact, it looks like it's here already at the moment with the breakout that we've seen today to 10-month highs. We've gone into more detail on that on our week ahead commodity report as well. Now, we've also seen strength come into the Australian dollar, breaking out to 1.5 week highs, and also the New Zealand dollar. So typically this time of year, as well as being seasonally strong, they're also getting a benefit off the back of the breakouts we're seeing on gold and silver too. So we're overall seeing strength come in to the commodity currencies. We've also seen the pound sterling drifting slightly higher here. It's managed to get some support into the close on Friday, and it's had a bit of a bounce, finding some support at the moment. I'm watching that quite closely actually because it's starting to find some resistance around the 1.2925 zone. We'll have a look at that together on the charts very shortly as well. And we've also seen the euro recover a little bit against the dollar. It's starting to rally, and riskier currencies like the Australian dollar are gathering strength on Monday amid the potential optimism of a breakthrough talks between the US and China, which is encouraging investors back into those commodity currencies at the moment. We also saw oil break out to the highest levels since 2019, well, since the beginning of the year or in 2019, and hedge funds and money managers have accelerated their buying of oil. So oil futures and options, the fastest rate for almost 6 months in the week to February the 12th. We've talked about this before, the February effect for oil, and we're seeing definitely support come into US oil and Brent crude oil with the breakouts that we've seen so far, with Brent getting back above 66 US dollars per barrel and US oil getting back above 56 US dollars per barrel. So right now, commodities are following their seasonal flows for mid-February. We want to have a look at how we could trade that via commodity currencies and also directly via the commodities as well. So what I'll do, I'll go over to the weekly time frame and we can really have a look at this together, and you'll be able to see exactly what we're looking at right now. So what I find interesting about gold here is trading around 1,326 US dollars per ounce. It's been a very key swing high in the past here for gold at that level of resistance. So we just about broke through that level today. On the weekly, we've broken above the swing highs. We're at the highest level in 10 months for gold here. You can see this tremendously big basing formation that we've seen on gold, and we've been talking about for a while, all the way from back in mid-December when we bottomed around 1,200, and 1,238 was around the time of the FOMC statement in mid-December. But essentially, we talked about this basing formation, the potential for a revisit all the way back up towards the neckline, which is where we're poised at the moment with the move that we've seen over the last week or so, the reversal that came into the close on Friday. And now gold is up 0.36% in the month so far. Normally over the month of February, gold produces a return of 2%. So if it can build up momentum above 13.25, we could then start making a move towards 13.30 and then above that 13.40 zone. And then ultimately the swing high resides at 1,365 US dollars per ounce. So I'm watching very carefully gold at these levels to see whether we are going to get some follow through. We do remain long gold, and I'm still looking at the potential for more follow through. Platinum as well has just about broken above last week's highs. It's looking quite strong and bullish at the moment on the weekly chart. We've talked about platinum a number of times where below 800 US dollars, we perceive that as an area of good value to look at executing positions on platinum. On the daily chart, it has broken above Friday's highs already. You've got this breakout and bullish engulfing candle into the close on Friday, which is already starting to break out to the upside. On the weekly chart, we've got a buy signal. We've already broken above the weekly highs, and I'm looking for a rotation ultimately back towards the $830 level for platinum, and I still see it as a buy around this zone. But ultimately, I'm looking at additional entries. Well, I'm still long on platinum, but I like to get in additional entries when it does break below $800 per ounce. For me, that's the optimal zone to be looking to add to positions. Then if we look at silver, as we've also discussed a number of times, this major layer of previous resistance is now providing support around the 1550 zone. We've had multiple bounces off that level before, going back to the beginning of December, more recently going back to July of 2017, then 31st of December around 2017, and then back in July of 2018. And again, that major layer around 1550 to 1560 is providing considerable support there. And if you go out to the daily chart, you'll see where, in my opinion, it's just another bull flag formation. We've broken already today above the high of the bull flag. We're residing around $15.79 at the moment. I could definitely see the potential for silver to catch up with gold. So gold has already broken above the 10-month highs, which would be the equivalent of essentially silver breaking back above $16.15. So it's still got about another 40-point move until it gets there. And normally what you tend to see when the gold to silver ratio has been going up, as it has lately, is that gold will lead silver, but then silver will lag behind by a few days. So ultimately, we're looking for silver to catch up to gold prices, and to me it looks like another bull flag. So normally silver goes through these long periods of consolidation, then suddenly these very large breakouts. So for me, silver is definitely back within the buy zone, has the potential to break out higher. We're still forecasting a revisit back towards $16 for silver. And normally over the month of February, silver tends to perform with an average return of about 1 to 2%. And where we're at the moment, it's down 1.5% on the month. So it definitely has some catching up to do relative to gold prices. Then moving over to oil. Oil is looking quite strong here. If you look at oil on the weekly chart, we've in fact already broken above last week's highs here, which formed a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly. We're sitting around $56.33 per barrel at the moment. It's holding on to those levels right now. It could really start to pick up momentum if you consider on the monthly chart. We look really bullish here. We look like oil does want to make a move back towards that $60 per barrel level. Ultimately this week, there's two ways I would look at oil. I would like to, in order to add to more positions, see a further retracement on oil back towards 54 to 55 US dollars per barrel. I don't know if we will get that, but if we do, that would be an ideal entry zone to buy back into oil at a better price, given the confirmation that we've got on higher timeframes. Or we look for a breakout, and it's basically broken above the weekly highs already. May just be a very shallow retracement back towards 56 US dollars per barrel, in which case you could look at buy opportunities around that level. So we've already had a breakout. We've of course got the API data coming out. this week as well, and the oil inventories data coming out later on in the week too on Thursday. Because of the bank holiday in the US, it will be Thursday instead of Wednesday. But ultimately, we're bullish on oil for the month of February. And usually you have what is known as the February effect for oil, where we see a low get put in over this month. We see considerable upside into March, April, May and June, which tend to be the best performing months of the year for crude oil. So we certainly seem to be basing at the moment. Then with respect to trading the inverse correlation, as we've spoke about a number of times before, US dollar Canadian dollar tends to move inversely to crude oil. And we closed with a doji candle last week. It does look vulnerable at the moment, US Canadian dollar to actually roll over. So if we were to see more upside on oil, the US dollar CAD could roll over. It's a bit of an indecision right now, but overall we've got a price structure which suggests if we break below the weekly lows, we could pick up momentum to the downside for oil. At the same time, if US dollar CAD doesn't break down and it springboards higher, breaks above last week's highs, it could then be a bullish formation. It would likely make a move back towards 1.338. At the moment, it still looks vulnerable to more of a corrective move to the downside, especially if oil breaks out higher, but I don't have confirmation on that to go for a sell short. I'm watching that closely. We actually banked some of our profits on the Australian dollar earlier on this morning, where we came out with 40 pips profit, and we've still got the remainder of the trade on. I look at this as a bullish formation. We've got essentially a rejection candle, which is formed at the lower end of our channel here. And we've broken out earlier on today, pulling back a little bit at the moment, 0.713. I'm looking at the potential to pick up positions again if we revisit the 0.71 handle. So if we get a pullback this week back towards a nice area of support around the 0.71 handle here, let me just show you that. Hold on, 0.71. Then I would look to potentially buy back into the Australian dollar on a pullback to that zone as an area of value, with a view that we'll eventually retest the swing highs here above 0.72. So I'm looking out for that potential. Today it's a bit of a lackluster move here because the US is closed right now. We're not seeing too much volatility at the moment, so we've taken some profits off the table, and we're not seeing overall much movement apart from gold actually breaking out to 10-month highs. Most of the forex markets are fairly muted at the moment. I'm also looking out a New Zealand dollar, US dollar, which briefly broke above the weekly highs here earlier on in the session. It's pulling back at the moment. I'm looking at pullbacks as buying opportunities. Certainly if you look at higher time frames, you've got some strong rejection there occurring on the monthly chart. My favorite trade is more so the Australian dollar at the moment, where I'm more interested in actually picking up a revisit back towards the 0.710 handle. That's really what I'm looking at right now. US dollar Swiss franc is pulling back a little bit today, but again, overall price structure looks bullish on higher time frames like the weekly chart. We formed a V-shaped reversal pattern, so I'm waiting on that for now, not executing new trades on that. And US dollar Japanese yen overall does look bullish, the price structure, or it's been building up a base for a while now. So my favorite trade ideas right now are to maintain the long position we've got on platinum. Gold, we're also long. We've just about broken above the 10-month highs, so I'm going to stay long on gold. It's got a bit more work to do to really bring it slightly higher, but it looks like it should do so. We're looking quite strong here on gold at the moment. Next major level is 1,330 US dollars per ounce, but we're looking well supported at the moment. If we can break and close above this neckline, we should build up momentum. Silver is good value. If I didn't have a position on silver, I would probably add to it around these levels. In my opinion, it represents a good value right now. Oil, I'm looking to add to this position, but I'd like to get a pullback entry on that. It's not optimal to add. And also the Australian dollar, I'd look to buy back in around the 0.71 handle at the moment. I'm still looking for a potential sell short on the US dollar CAD, but it's a bit muted today, the price action, and I'd ideally like to get in at a higher price to sell it or get more confirmation to sell it. It's mid-range right now, so I can't really do too much with that. Euro US dollar, on the weekly, if it breaks above last week's highs, I would perceive that as a potential long, but at the moment it's rolling over a little bit. Again, bit muted today with the close of the US banks right now being a bank holiday in the USA, so don't really have a clear view of that until we see a bit more confirmation as to which way the euro wants to go. Pound US dollar, I'm looking at the potential to sell into a rollover of price. I'm mindful on the weekly we've had 3 weeks of sell-off here. It's kind of formed the corrective move that we've been anticipating. We've been selling since it broke down a couple of weeks back. We've actually had 3 sell shorts over the last couple of weeks here. But now we're basing a little bit, holding above the 1.29 handle. If I put it on the 4-hour time frame, you'll see where we've got this basic downward trending channel, which has been in play for a while now, but it's now starting to break out a bit of that channel. So I'm not hugely in favor of shorting it until I get a bit more confirmation, but at the same time, I'm not going to go long either. So I'm just waiting on a bit more confirmation on the pound US dollar at the moment. And what else? I think that's really it. The other one would be the S&P 500, which is trading near enough at the upper end of the range right now. But I wait for a bit more confirmation in terms of executing a fresh trade on that. But really, commodity currencies wise, that's what we're looking at. Potential pullback opportunities for the Australian dollar and also the New Zealand dollar. Maintaining positions on gold, platinum, and silver, just managing those at the moment, and also looking at potential opportunities to go short US dollar CAD and potentially add to an oil position to the long side as well. So I hope that helps and just gives you a little bit of clarity, guys, in terms of what we are looking to do at the moment. Of course, it's a bank holiday in the United States at the moment, so you're likely to see momentum pick up as we get into tomorrow's session and later on in the week as well. That's when we can really start to see additional movement. Of course, if you do want more detailed forecast, do make sure, as I mentioned at the beginning of the session, that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel and watch the latest report we put out there. If you would like to actually become a private member of the Gold and Silver Club and join our community of successful traders, there is an opportunity for you to do so. And essentially, as a private member, you will get access to our exclusive live trading room webinars during the week. You get real-time trade alerts and also trade management. You get access to our trading research and all of our market insights. You have access in your logins to our Private Members Academy website. You also get access to support and mentoring as well. Very simply, to make an application, it's www.jointhelivetradingroom.com to make an application to become a member of the Gold and Silver Club. Okay, fantastic. So I hope that helps. I hope that gives you a bit of clarity, guys, in terms of our positioning for this week. We'll definitely catch you back here this week for Wednesday's trading session and Friday's Commodities Corner as well. Thanks again to Sharice and the team at binary.com for hosting today's session, and we'll see you back here on the next one. Okay, all the best. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good trading, and we'll see you soon, guys. Okay, bye for now.